Hi, this is DJ Storm, and this is Bass Island, and you're in tune to Vivien. Check it out.
Okay, so it's a great pleasure to be here tonight with DJ Storm. Welcome to Milan.
Thank you very much. It's really, really nice to be back here in Milan, one of my favourite cities in Italy. I've been playing here for a very, very long time. Most probably the first place I ever played in Italy. Yeah, so it has a very special place for me.
My first question is, how was opening and running a label 15 years ago, and what's it like now?
Well, obviously I don't run the label now. There is a new person doing that, but it was very exciting to start running this label for Goldie, because it was kind of our dream. He had this dream that he would make this music and myself and Chemistry would play it, and we would have a label, we would have a club, we would have a merchandising range, and we started running the label in 94, and by 95 we'd got a club, we already had the merchandising running, so we kind of lived the dream, really. I mean, it was very, very hard work. We ran it from a one-bedroom flat. People I think thought we had big offices, but we didn't. We literally got out of bed and answered the phone and said, "Good morning, metalheads." It was scary as well, because a lot of people didn't quite understand this new kind of forward-moving drum and bass that was about, and it took us a while to start selling the label. And I think the first release that Kemi and I had was Metalheads 5 and 6, which was Your Sound by J Magic and Angels Fell by Dillinger, which was most probably the two tracks that kind of put Metalheads really on the map. And once we'd got those out, I think it really started selling. But even though it was very hard work, it was 24/7, because when you're running an underground label, you have to be available to the whole world. So talking to people in New Zealand, Japan, Asia, everywhere, the other parts of the world, in America. It was very hard work, but it didn't seem like hard work. It was exciting to be at that birthplace of what I think was real, pure drum and bass. Yeah, I mean, the club was amazing. The first night we ever did the club, we were really scared, and me, Goldie and Kemi got there an hour early, and we were really panicking, and then within an hour of it being open, it was full. Wow. And I don't really think we had time to realise what was happening. We were just really enjoying it, and we had a lot of rivalry between the DJs, a good rivalry, that who was going to play the most weird tune tonight, or who was going to find that new producer. So it was very exciting, to be honest. It didn't feel like hard work at all.
It was fun at the same
It was
time.
Absolutely fun, because I think we created this family. I always kind of relate Metalheads to Stussy, the clothing label. Mm-hmm. It's a lifestyle. It wasn't just, buying records. You had the merchandising, you had the club, you had the people, and you could talk to any of us in that club. We were kind of bringing this family vibe wherever we went, and it was really nice. We weren't unapproachable. We wanted to talk to you about this music. I mean, the first time I ever went to New Zealand, I talked to one guy about a John B tune for 45 minutes. He was that into it, do you know what I mean? But whoa. I enjoyed that, you know what I mean? I could talk about drum and bass for hours, as you can tell.
And are you self-taught? Who taught you how to DJ?
Well, I always say that Groove Rider taught me how to select, Fabio taught me how to tell a story, and Randall, who is my all-time DJ idol, taught me how to put the mix into perspective. Chemistry and Storm was almost like drum and bass, which is the bastardization of all music. We were the bastardization of all DJs. We took something from everybody. And even today, when I'm hearing DJs, I can still learn something. One day, I will be as quick as Randall. That's my aspiration, to be as quick. And Randall used to make just tiny little bits of a track work. Maybe the rest of the track wasn't even good, but that's the art of being a DJ, to do that live mix right in front of you. That to me is a real turn on.
Do you still use only vinyls? What do you think of new technology?
I'm using CDs now. I only have a very small amount of vinyl in my bag right now. There's not a lot we can do about it. From the moment that Technics announced in Japan that they weren't going to make any more decks, you are forced to go digital. Now, you either pick up the CDs, or you have a virtual system like Serato or Traktor, whichever one works for you. And I was obviously very upset to let the vinyl go, but there isn't that much vinyl around now. Labels are not able to afford to do it. There's not so much money in drum and bass. There is in one respect on the commercial side, but still on the underground, it's almost like we're always starting again. We're always starting again. Do you know what I mean? And so now, even though maybe I don't enjoy playing the CDs as much as the vinyl, I certainly don't enjoy the sound as much as the organicness of the vinyl. Unfortunately, you have to do it. And one thing that I heard from Crust was that, you know, as long as we're still getting this music out there, we have to go with whatever medium is available. If we still want this music to survive and we still love it, we have to work out different methods of playing it.
Well, drum and bass has always been and still is quite a male-dominated scene. Are there any female DJs or producers that you suggest?
Well, obviously I have been running my own female night in London, Feline, for a long time, and I've been trying to bring in DJs, you know, and wherever we go in the world, we try and find the local girl DJ, you know. It's kind of a rule that once you've played for Feline once, you're part of the family. So when we go to Budapest, we'll have Ren, you know what I mean? And when we go to France, we'll have a Law play for us. So I try to find all the female DJs around the world, you know, Asayo in Japan. And, you know, obviously I love DJ Flight. She was like Chemistry and Storm's protege, and she had Kemi's decks when Kemi passed away, you know, and I would obviously always look out for her. And obviously Alley Cat now has her own label. It may be dubstep, but she's still there working hard at being a musician. Indy, whose name is DJ Mantra, she's starting to make music as well. She's one of my Feline DJs, and you know, she has her own night as well called Rupture. And so I think the women that I know in this scene have to have another string to their bow. They have to have a night, or they have to be doing something, you know, be involved in the scene in some way or another, you know, like Tasha, one of my other girls, she's doing a night called Neighborhood, which is not drum and bass, but she's still learning business and learning how to keep herself afloat with, you know, having different skills. I think the women always have to have a different skill to be able to keep going or keep in the limelight. But yeah, I mean, I'm naughty myself. I've not made music myself, so, you know, I'm a bit naughty too. And maybe one day, you know, I will make some music, you know. It would be very nice. But at the moment, I think we have to work very hard to keep ourselves in the limelight at the moment. But I really enjoy doing the Feline thing because, you know, we had a club with 2 floors, so I was able to bring women from other genres, you know, into my thing, like Iconica and Keto and those kind of people who play dubstep. But I'm trying to highlight women rather than just saying we're a drum and bass unit. I mean, obviously drum and bass is our first music, but the other thing is trying to find MCs. So any MCs out there, you know, get hold of me.
Very interesting. And how would you describe the path drum and bass and all bass music has made over the last years?
I mean, obviously drum and bass is now global. I mean, I'm playing music from Kiat in Singapore and guys in Germany and people in New Zealand and, you know, all over the world. So it's global. I mean, that's the beauty of drum and bass now. It is a global thing. And I think we're very proud that it's allowed people to have careers, you know, become DJs or make tunes, and that's quite an exciting thing that we've done there, really. I don't think we intentionally meant that to happen, but it's really good, and I think it has progressed more and more. It's had moments where other music has come in, and maybe then what happens is then drum and bass doesn't become so popular, but it's a little bit of a roller coaster, drum and bass, so it's never gonna, you know, every year I hear people saying, oh, drum and bass is over. It's never gonna be over, you know, and I mean, stop saying it, you know, because I think right now it's on a really positive up again, you know, and, you know, you get exciting things like Fresh being at #1, and I mean, you know, maybe it's not the most underground drum and bass, but it's still something to be proud of, and I'm really, really looking forward to Goldie's new album. I've heard about 5 tracks from it, and it really is quite exciting, you know, for Goldie to be doing a Goldie album, not a Roughage Crew album, doing a Goldie album. And I think it's going to be timeless part 2, this, you know, it really is quite involved, and yeah, maybe some of the tracks are not for the dance floor, but I think Goldie is able to do that, you know, to make a very involved album and be a little bit self-indulgent. That's what we want to hear from him, you know. I don't want Goldie to sound like everybody else. I want him to sound like him, but in the 22nd century.
How much of your day or of your week does music take up? I mean, in your free time, what do you listen to? Just drum and bass, or?
The only thing I've listened to recently was Kate Bush's new album. I'm a real fan of Kate Bush. I've always collected vinyl all my life, so I was a bit of a disco queen when disco was here. I like people that do things well. I like Prince. I used to love Simply Red. You know, people that are really passionate about what they do. Jill Scott, I think, is amazing. Obviously, Adele. You know, I mean, you know, I'm not really that much. I mean, I must admit, I'm quite a drum and bass purist. So most of the time, you know, if I'm feeling a bit down, it's drum and bass I reach for. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, I do kind of listen to other things that I feel people do with a passion, because I'm very passionate about what I do. You know, there's no denying that I'm a drum and bass DJ. I can't play anything else. You know, everybody said to me, oh, you must try and play dubstep. Well, it doesn't do it for me. Do you know what I mean? Or you must play this, or you must, and I say, well, no, I still am quite obsessed with drum and bass.
And you were just awarded Best Female DJ at the Drum and Bass Awards once again, so congrats on that, first of all. Where do you still get all this energy, and how do you feel the audience has changed?
Well, obviously the audience is getting younger, and I'm getting older. But I think that because music is the universal communication of the world, I don't think age really has a barrier. You know, I mean, some places in Germany I'll see people that I've been playing to for over 20 years, but obviously every now and then there'll be a new set of people that come, you know, and younger people, and they won't always know your history. So when you're playing to a much younger crowd who don't understand what you're about, again, a good DJ will always take the crowd by the hand and walk them through their set carefully. You make it understandable. You make the links between the phases that you do in your set understandable. You might throw in something quite shocking at one point, but that's to get people's heads working as well. I like to really, if I've got something really nice playing, I might put something really dirty with it, you know what I mean? And just think, right, I'm going to really mess with the crowd's head right now, because I think that's what came out of Metalheads and Goldie, and that drum and bass was for your mind, your body, and your soul. You know what I mean? And I want people to be thinking, what the hell is she doing? You know, like, what is going on right now? I've never heard anybody quite like that. I'm very involved in what I do with mixing, do you know what I mean? So I want the new people, obviously, to appreciate what I'm doing, because I think I have a very old school way of putting a set together. I like a little piece of everything. And I notice a lot of new producer DJs now maybe tend to play very much on one level, you know, their own music. And I personally think if you're going to have light and shade in your set, you have to even be able to be a better DJ when you're playing one sound, because you want the rise and fall at times. You know, you want to give people a rest at times, and then you want to get them hyped up, and then maybe you might want to have a beautiful moment right in the middle of all of your set. You know, so I'm very old school in the way I put my set together, and sometimes the new people don't understand that. So I have to just think a little bit more carefully about how I place my tunes. But then to me, that's the art of being a DJ.
What would you recommend, in fact, young DJs or producers do in order to improve their skills?
Well, obviously, if you're going to be a DJ, it's all about practicing. It's all about, I mean, and as well, because I suppose I'm musically trained, I don't really like to clash chords or clash basses, or I want my set to be musically right as well. And I think if you're going to be a DJ like that, you have to work really hard at home. You have to work and find out what doesn't work. When you know what doesn't work, then you can really work out what does work. So I think practice, practice, practice as a DJ. And as for a producer, my advice is to, you know, keep trying lots of different things. I think when you're a new producer, you know, your stuff doesn't always sit completely right. I mean, if you take somebody like Hellraiser, who's from here, you know, when he first started making tracks, he made some good tracks, but they weren't quite, some of them weren't quite there, you know what I mean? And as you watch his progression, he's found his sound now. And I think if you're a new producer, don't worry that if it doesn't come straight away, just keep experimenting, and then all of a sudden you will find your sound. And it's really nice to watch new producers kind of progress. You know, when people send me tracks and they're new, I don't want to discourage them, I want to encourage them. You know, it may not be the most amazing track in the world, you know, but you can keep learning. And the thing is to reach out to other people to get advice, you know what I mean? The drum and bass scene is very good at giving advice. We're all here to help. We want people to be involved in this music. It's not like we're, you know, I'm not going to talk to you because I'm DJ so-and-so, you know. We encourage people, you know, drum and bass is that scene where all comers are welcome. So, you know, just don't get disheartened if your first few tracks are not Dillinger or Spy or someone, you will find your mode. Just use your influences as to what music you collected over the years and what you like and maybe what sounds you like, do you know what I mean? And then put those together and you can make something. Listen to DJs, listen to lots of DJs and listen to that mix in the middle. Maybe there's something in there that you like. So, just keep pushing, believe, that, because I always believe that if you feel you've got something to offer this scene, keep working hard to get there. And as if you're a new DJ, it's very hard now, I think, to be a DJ, you know what I mean? Because it's all very product-led now. You need to make the tune and then become a DJ. And I don't really like this way of thinking. It's a shame that you can't just be a DJ. I mean, I'm lucky. My foot was in the door when producers made tunes and DJs played them. And now it's all very different. But still, work hard. And if you can meet people when they're playing, give them your CD, give them your email, make sure they have a contact for you, hassle that person, don't be afraid to hassle people. Some of the best producers have got on like that. Persistence.
And is there a producer or a DJ recently that has completely surprised you?
Well, I think Spy is, he's not surprising me, but because I felt, from years ago when I first heard his productions that this guy was going to be one of the geniuses, and he's proved me completely right. I mean, a lovely guy, loves what he's doing, you can feel his passion, and when he DJs, the passion is all there, and I love, I just think everything about him is refreshing to this scene right now. And I'm really, enjoying the fact that people like Digital and Spirit and Total Science are still around, really giving some good input, and all the new producers, listen to their productions and learn. They're way ahead of the game because they've been here for years, do you know what I mean? Everybody wants the newest thing, the convenient thing, and that's not always the best thing. I love Calibre, obviously, and I'm loving the fact that Dillinger is coming back at the moment. So, there's a lot of excitement out there, and there's a lot of new producers that I'm really enjoying. I mean, I'm loving Need for Mirrors, which is Moses and your own Hellraiser. You should be very proud of that young man, because HLZ is doing a lot of good tracks right now. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of exciting people to look out for.
Well, that was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.